Y'all already know what time it is. It is time for the mess. Let's get into it. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's be your boy Scotty by Nation TV, and we're here for another episode of Yes for the Mess. Yes, I am here, fresh from work. Okay, literally just got home from work, and I'm about to get ready to do the Whether You Like It or Not panel. Within another maybe 32, 33 minutes. Remember, it's on Really Be TV's channel tonight. Okay, be sure to tune in. But I'm here to come to y'all so we can talk about Mr. Kelly, okay? R. Kelly, R. Kelly, R. Kelly, okay? Now, as you guys already know, R. Kelly has been faced with a whole lot of charges over the last couple of years now, especially since the whole documentary with Surviving R. Kelly came out and all that other stuff. The law has been on his ass, okay? And today he was found guilty of all charges and he is now facing life in prison, okay? And the charges, um, is outstanding. And it was only a matter of time before he got caught, and it was a matter of time before justice was actually served. So what I'm gonna do is, you already know how we do it over here. We Yes for the Mess. Um, I have an article here from the New York Times. Okay, so that's our source for tonight, which is the New York Times. All right. Now I'm gonna read this article, and after we read the article, you're gonna get my opinion, and then y'all gonna leave y'all opinions down below. All right. So let's get into this article, y'all. Let's get into this article. Now, R. Kelly is found guilty of all counts and faces life in prison. Mr. Kelly's conviction marked a stunning fall for a man who was once one of the biggest names in R&B music. It came after the first Me Too era trial, in which most of the victims were black women. The conviction of R. Kelly on all nine counts against him came as a significant moment in the Me Too movement for both black women and for the music industry, ushering in a sense that finally justice had been served. But the verdict on Monday also prompted an obvious question. Women have said that the singer's abuses began early as the start of the 1990s. So why did it take 3 decades for the singer to receive criminal punishment? Here are a few possible answers. The entertainer had an expansive network of enablers around him, federal prosecutors said, from his closest confidants and employees to many in the music industry who knew of the concerns about his behavior but did not intervene. The government drew attention to what has been described as the settlement factory that kept his accusers quiet, offering evidence of Mr. Kelly's payments to women who made accusations in exchange for their silence. And when that was not enough, Mr. Kelly used his henchmen to lodge threats and exact revenge, blackmailing women with nude photographs of themselves and embarrassing information, one prosecutor, Elizabeth Geddes, said in the closing arguments. Federal prosecutors also accused Mr. Kelly of paying witnesses to not cooperate with authorities in the lead up to his 2008 trial and acquittal. They said the singer let some witnesses know that they could be subjected to physical harm if they proceeded. There are some cultural factors that may have helped Kelly avoid consequences for his behavior as well. Legal experts and people who study sexual abuse have also suggested that the race of most of Mr. Kelly's accusers likely played a role. Experts say that black women have historically been far more likely than white women to have their accusations about misconduct distrusted and ignored. Our reality is that our society just does not view black women and girls as credible, said Kenyette Barnes, a co-founder of the of the Mute R. Kelly campaign. We assume that 15-year-old black girls have the ability to manipulate a grown man, and some superstars have admitted that the race of the accusers shaped their perceptions in the Mr. Kelly case. I didn't value the accusers' stories because they were black women, Chance the Rapper, who is from the singer's hometown, Chicago, said during the Surviving R. Kelly documentary series. Some of Mr. Kelly's steadfast supporters continue to believe that he's a victim of a large racist conspiracy to keep successful black men from thriving, and that view was once more widespread in black communities before his trial, experts know. As a former TV critic at the New York Times, Aisha Harris, said that two cultural touchstones, Chappelle's Show and the Boondocks, also helped shape the perception of accusations against R. Kelly through humor and keeping audiences amused instead of troubled. The cultural climate has also changed dramatically since the allegations against Mr. Kelly first began to surface. After the singer pleaded not guilty to the charges that led to his 2008 trial, he performed alongside children at a church in Chicago that same day. He was embraced by the congregation. R. Kelly will be sentenced in May as other charges move forward. R. Kelly is set to be sentenced at 10 a.m. on May the 4th by same federal judge who oversaw his racketeering and trafficking trial in Brooklyn. Mr. Kelly, age 54, faces 10 years to life in prison. The intervening months will be busy in the next few weeks. Mr. Kelly's lawyers can file motions seeking to overturn the verdict. Mr. Kelly also faces charges in at least two other states, including federal child pornography and obstruction counts in Chicago. That trial has been postponed several times and a new date has not been set. A court conference in that case has been set for October the 20th. Mr. Kelly's lawyer said he didn't know if the trial would go forward because of the sentencing or if Mr. Kelly would be moved to Chicago from the Brooklyn detention faculty where he has been held for the duration of the New York trial. Spokesmen for the U.S. attorneys in Brooklyn and Chicago did not respond to requests for comment. At the Brooklyn sentencing, Judge Ann M. Donnell will be able to consider victim impact statements and testimony from Mr. Kelly's accusers, some of which will be filed with the court ahead of time. Prosecutors thank R. Kelly's accusers in saying verdict brands him as a predator. After a New York jury convicted R. Kelly on all nine charges against him, federal prosecutors had a simple message for the people who testified against him. Thank you. Today's guilty verdict forever brands R. Kelly as a predator who used his fame and fortune to prey on the young and the vulnerable and the voiceless for his own gratification. The acting attorney told the acting U.S. attorney in Brooklyn told a crowd of reporters and onlookers outside the federal courthouse on Monday. She added, "We hope that today's verdict brings some measure of comfort and closure to his victims." The first accusations against Kelly date back to the early 1990s, but he evaded a criminal prosecution for years, even as additional women came forward, and he was acquitted of child pornography in 2008 after a sex tape came to light that the authorities said depicted him with a 15-year-old girl. The prosecutor said that Mr. Kelly's conviction on Monday delivered a powerful message to both the entertainer and other influential men. No matter how long it takes, the long arm of the law will catch up with you. Addressing what he called a decades long reign of terror inflicted by Mr. Kelly, Peter, a special agent in charge at Homeland Security Investigations, the investigative arm the Department of Homeland Security, said that the singer made one critical error. He underestimated the resilience and the courage of the victims to refuse to be silenced. He added that he hoped that women and men who testified against the singer could now begin a healing process and restore the prospects of their lives that Mr. Kelly had destroyed. Kim Fox, the top prosecutor in Chicago who announced the state sex crime charges against him there in 2019, told me that she believes that R. Kelly's conviction was monumental for the Me Too movement and sends a significant message about whose stories matter. It is my hope that through this trial, the toll that has taken to get to this point, that we recognize that the movement is not at its fullest strength if everyone doesn't have the equal access to justice, she said. Much of the evidence that the prosecutors used to convict Kelly came from the singer himself. He obsessively collected message slips, letters written by the women who interacted with him, some of them underage. The lead, according to Ryan Shabbat, the lead federal investigator in the case, Mr. Shabbat said he shifted through the evidence and recovered several searches of the singer's apartment and storage faculty. Mr. Kelly kept some of the evidence in FedEx folders with labels like old messages and other pieces like a 7-page front and back handwritten letter from a woman who testified for 3 days early in the trial and protective sleeves in a locked safe. Mr. Kelly, calling Mr. Kelly a great man, the woman wrote, at the age of 17, I never had sex with R. Kelly. Then proceeded to tick off a list of specific sex acts that she said that she had not participated in with the R&B superstar. Less than 2 years later, when the woman who had written the letter testified, she said that she had experienced, coerced, and recorded sexual encounters with the singer starting when she was 17. He hit her often and said that he forced her to get an abortion. Every letter that the prosecutors introduced at the trial from Mr. Kelly's personal collection and what appeared to be a years long attempt to build his defense even before the indictment in Brooklyn was unsealed. They were all signed by accusers who were at the forefront of the case with the singer. Those accusations those accusers, I'm sorry, now say he forced them to write the letters, including a man who testified that the singer told him what to write word for word. The material known as collateral makes it difficult for victims to escape, said Don Hughes, a clinical and forensic psychologist. I really be fucking up on this word. Psychologist, I'm sorry, who provided expert testimony for the prosecution. She also testified as an expert at the trial for the cult leader who also relied on collateral to intimidate the women he was abusing. Creating collateral keeps adolescents captive, she said, and creates a powerful dynamic she likens to slowly sucking the oxygen out of the room once you realize that you can't get out of it. Shortly after a jury found R. Kelly guilty of decade-long scheme to recruit women and teenage girls for sex, Gloria Allred, a women's rights attorney who represented several of the singer's accusers, stood outside of the federal courthouse in Brooklyn and declared that justice had been done. Miss Allred has often represented women who have been victims of sexual harassment and sexual assault by powerful men, including in the case against the movie producer Harvey Weinstein. But she said, of all the predators that I have pursued, Mr. Kelly is the worst. Mr. Kelly used his celebrity to manipulate and sexually abuse underage girls. Ms. Arvid said that she had used a network of enablers to help build and sustain the world of torment and abuse. Mr. Kelly also knowingly spread herpes to his victims, she said. Ms. Arvid, oh y'all, this article is long as hell. I don't know if I can read all of this to you guys. But nah, I ain't gonna read all this. I'm gonna do this over. But yeah, this article is long as hell, and I don't know if I can read all of this to y'all. But just know that with everything that has went down, because this is a long ass article. I don't know if y'all want me to read all of this because this shit is long as fuck. Okay, let me go back up. Yeah, this is long, very long. But I'm gonna stop the article right there. I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna stop it right there. So this is what I'm gonna say about that. This is my opinion on it because this is long as hell, and I would need a live to talk about this straight up. But this is what I'm gonna say about it. My Facebook is already blowing up. A lot of black women and black men are defending this man for what he has done and what he would probably have proceeded to do if he wasn't caught. The man has been terrorizing young women for many, many years, teenage women for many, many years now, and nothing has been done about it. And you have enablers, and you have people like these black women on my timeline that's saying things like, if I was 16, I would have let R. Kelly hit. And the rest of y'all who's saying that y'all wouldn't be lying. Y'all would be lying. He's rich and famous, and you mean to tell me that y'all would let him hit? It's mentalities like that allows people like R. Kelly to get away with the things that he has done. Straight up. It's things like that allows him to get away with what he has done already. And I think that that's absolutely absurd. I think that that's ridiculous. And the fact that people are saying they did R. Kelly wrong, this is 3 decades of abuse, 3 decades of racketeering schemes that he has pulled. And it's just y'all want to turn a blind eye to things. Y'all want to blame the parents. Y'all want to blame the victims. Y'all want to blame everybody but R. Kelly. Everybody but R. Kelly. It's everybody's fault by R. Kelly. Even though the parents, quote unquote, sold their kids to the highest bidder, that means that R. Kelly is innocent. No, 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 love. That does not mean that he's innocent. That means that other people did make bad decisions. Now he did have other people around him that should be prosecuted. I do agree with that. But at the end of the day, he's still wrong. He's still wrong. Um, it was something. I'm gonna read this part of the article because it involves Sparkle, and Sparkle's niece was the one that was involved with the case with the sex tape, and he was acquitted on that. So I'm gonna read what she said, and then I'm probably gonna leave because I do got to get ready, but I do got to go do the panel. So I'm gonna go here. Okay, so Sparkle, she said that so in the New York Times, a woman who testified against R. Kelly in 2008 called the trial a big relief. The singer Sparkle was hopeful that R. Kelly could elevate her 12-year-old niece, an aspiring rapper, to success when she introduced the girl and other family members to the R&B star. But years later, she would testify at Mr. Kelly's first criminal trial that a sex tape at the center of the case showed Mr. Kelly having sex and urinating on her teenage niece. It was not enough for the jurors, and the singer was acquitted of child pornography charges in 2008. On Monday, she was feeling a bevy of emotions after Mr. Kelly was finally found guilty of trafficking and racketeering charges on Monday, 20 years after she was first approached by a lawyer over the sex tape involving her niece. It's a good day, it's a sad day. It's just that my niece and the other young women can now feel a sense of relief. He's not able to do this to them any longer. In an early interview and days before the singer's conviction, she described the case as a big relief and an enormous release of regrets, hardships, and frustration she has held for decades. I've been carrying this since 2001. Sparkle, whose real name is Stephanie Edwards, said in an interview in the days before the verdict arrived, finally I can have some sense of normalcy, whatever normal looks like on the other end of this. This was really something that I took and put on my shoulders, and I'm needing massages every other day because this thing has been very heavy. Sparkle was once R. Kelly's protege, providing backup vocals for Aaliyah's debut album and releasing her own first album in 1998. The two records were both produced by R. Kelly, and hers went gold. When Sparkle testified at Mr. Kelly's first trial, her sister, the mother of her niece, maintained that the teenager in the tape was not her daughter. Her testimony fractured the family, and her promising music career never fully recovered after the trial. In its aftermath, Sparkle said her relationships with her family briefly recovered, but further deteriorating after she participated in the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. I don't want to say happy because it's not really a happy moment. You just can't understand what my family has gone through. I don't know that it will ever be the same. It was mind-boggling that the singer's abuses spanned more than 3 decades and emphasized that those around Mr. Kelly who allowed his behavior to continue were also to blame. They helped this man do all this stuff to these young girls, and she said, shame on them. Her niece, now a woman in her 30s, has cooperated with federal prosecutors in Chicago in recent years in their own case against the singer. Sparker said she was not sure how she had been processing the singer's current trial, but I hope she's able to live a little bit more. Even if she gets recognized to not have such a backlash, I'm just hopeful that it's all over. I wish and I pray that moving forward that black women are listened to. Okay, that's what Sparkle said. I wanted to read that because she was involved in the very first case about the sex tape, which he was in the sex tape. But because the mother and the daughter both said that it wasn't her, that he was acquitted. So when a person doesn't want to cooperate, they go away. All I have to say is this right here. Everybody's saying that the parents should go to jail as well as R. Kelly. But one thing I want to leave this video with this is this right here. Y'all are so quick to victimize black women when it comes down to these type of allegations and these type of things, whether it's domestic abuse, whether it's sexual abuse. Y'all are quick to dumb them down. Y'all are very much so quick to turn them down, not want to hear anything that they gotta say. Especially when it's a famous, powerful black man and y'all feel like everybody's trying to take them down. But in all reality, there's people like R. Kelly in your families. Let's make that clear too. It's men like R. Kelly in your families that has touched other kids in your families. But I don't see you taking those parents to jail when they knew that the uncle molested you and they didn't believe you. I'm gonna leave y'all with that. And I'm glad that R. Kelly got his just due. And that's that on that. I may come back another day this week to go live. I may have my cousin Reggie up here to go live with me to discuss it. We might go through this whole article and break this shit down and discuss it even further. If that's what you want, let me know. All right. So with that being said, y'all, your boy Scotty is out of here. Be sure to like, rate, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so you can be notified whenever there's a video of mine that's coming out. Also, if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter and my IG will be down below. With that being said, you guys, I'm out of here. Until my next video, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace out.
We can always find our way to a fun moment, even in the shady bunch.